Hello and welcome to a review of Valheim. Kind of survival building exploration game that kind of took the internet by the storm recently. It is developed by Iron Gate AB and published by the Coffee Stain Publishing. We seem to be pushing out pretty awesome games every time. So, in Valheim, you're a Viking trying to get to Valhalla basically. You're kind of in the middle of a living world and then Valhalla in Valheim. And you're tasked in killing several bosses. Currently, in this version, we have 5 bosses, as indicated by these things here. And in the full version, this is the early access. So in full version, there's gonna be 9 bosses and some mini bosses as well, apparently, and multiple biomes. And this game is all about exploration, sailing around the world, checking out things as we have been running on this 246 days. It is extremely addicting. And yeah, this is the starting point here. And let me just show the game a little bit. So we're gonna head towards our base that we played on a multiplayer. This game is both single player and multiplayer. It is very playable in a single player and actually very fun, challenging experience with the boss and everything. But also a really fun multiplayer game. It has a really good progression system. So each boss basically unlocks a new tier of things. You can do new crafting and so on. You gather materials, you mine, you chop trees. For example, we could chop some trees for some materials. There's a really fun building system. You can terraform, you can farm, you can have animals, piggies, and so on in your settlement. And it's a really cool game, and people have been really building up massive, awesome structures in the game. As the building system is has its quirks, but it's very approachable and really fun way to quickly do pretty decent looking buildings and everything. So we're just chopping a little wood here with my axe. The combat system of the game is kind of similar to Dark Souls. If you've played Dark Souls type of games, it is not as hard, although some enemies are fairly difficult, especially early on. And if you're not in right gear in the right place. So basically you have just a standard attack in your mouse, one attack. You have a blocker, you can have a shield. There's also a dodge roll, basically, with some invulnerable frames, so you can dodge away from enemy attacks. There's multitude of weapons, like I have an axe, I have a sword, I have a mace, and so on. And you can also have a bow and all kinds of other weapons. You also have multiple other tools, like the axe can be used for combat on or chopping trees. You have a pickaxe, which also can be used. That it's not very good for combat though, but you can mine stones. Like I can break this rock apart if I want. I can mine metals. I can make a hole on the ground if I feel like, and terraform the land. There's also a leveling tool, so you can level ground, and you can also make raise ground. You can make paths, you can make stone roads. We have this small path, basically dirt road coming down through the forest here into our main city. So when some new players popped in, it was easy way for them to travel to our village. And this is our village. There might be some lag, which is one of the big problems currently in the early access. Terraforming the terrain and building can generate quite a lot of lag, and it's kind of advisable not to terraform too much. But it's really fun, so you kind of end up doing it anyways. You can do some hunting. There's as you can see, there's a animal there that you can shoot. There's some random enemies, depending on the biome and how you progress. Some enemies pop up running around in here. As this is the meadows biome, it's fairly easy going. So let's just go inside. As you can see, our base is a little laggy, as I said. And all of this here you see is built from small pieces. So we did all of this construction in this area piece by piece as a group. There's some stone road, there's our crafting building, There's our smelting building and so on. There's some docks. Let's actually go this way. Check out this corner. There's our beehives, our potion building. There's a tower that we constructed, or one of my viewers constructed, and here's this boathouse. And as I said, you can do sailing, so this is one of the sailing boats here. In the game there's several different versions on different tiers. There's like a simple raft that you start with, and then you get better and better boats. You can have carts, you can pull a cart of goods around, which sometimes is very necessary if you're hauling a lot of items across the world. There's also teleporters, so the world is massively spanning, so that distance we just did from here to here is just a small area, and we've been going around the world a lot. Although not all of the biomes, so as I said, there's 9 biomes supposed to be in the full version. There's currently 5 of them, so you have the one we're currently on, the meadows biome. There's a black forest, like in here, for example. There's a mountain, plains, and a swamp biome, and of course the ocean itself is one biome basically as well. And there's supposed to be like several additional ones which actually already exist on the map. They're kind of on the edges here, but they're not fleshed out yet, so there's not much in those. And we could just go and summon one of the first bosses, which is one of the first things you pretty much do in the game as you build your house. This is our house here, and I think we need a couple of these deer hides. We made some storage, as there's a lot of items in the game, and you want to store them, so we'll just grab that, and we can also do some construction over there, away from the town. So let's just head south, and there's a summon thing there. The world is really pretty. The biomes are very nicely done, and really enjoyable to look at. The lighting effects, like if you really look closely, the graphics are a little pixely and little not the smoothest, but it kind of also adds to the charm of the game in my opinion, coming from a retro game background. But looking at the bigger vistas and oceans and the light effects and everything, the game just looks gorgeous with the fog and so on. So we'll just run through the forest here, avoid those deer and other enemies quickly. So this is the first boss of the game. You kill it fairly early on. Summon a deer. There's some runestones that indicate they give you lore, and also some of them guide you to the next bosses, so you know where to go. Hunt his skin. Well, I'm gonna punch this guy quickly, as he's bothering me. There we go. So, we need to offer an item, so let's go to the inventory here, so we can actually take a look at the inventory at the same time. So this is your inventory, that's my tools, as you can see on the top part there. You have your armor here, so you have multiple pieces of armor, and all the other junk arrows and everything. There's also crafting, you can craft by hand, and then there's crafting tables where you can craft things as well. You can also see information you've unlocked, like some of these are from the runestones, and also tutorial bird. You have skills, which increase per use and also go down when you die. So dying is actually, especially when you have high level skills, dying is fairly punishing, as you lose quite a lot of skill every time. There's also trophies for doing things in the game, so you can kind of see where to go and what to do. And there's PvP, so if you are interested in PvP, you can do PvP. PvP can also be used on some funky things. Not ready. But yeah, let's just summon the boss. I'm gonna use my bow. And this summons the boss. All the bosses are summoned basically similarly. You find a location where to summon it, and there's usually a requirement what you need to summon the boss. And you have a boss health bar, Ecture is there, and some awesome effects. But as I'm vastly over leveling this boss currently, he's fairly easy. So I'm just showing a quick boss. As you can imagine, this is much harder when you don't have end-game gear. But yeah, that's basically just the first boss quickly. And as you kill the boss, you can loot the boss for materials, so So that's a trophy from the boss, and then you use the trophies to unlock the next thing. And as you unlock things, you unlock new powers. So I have a bone mass power currently, which is one of the bosses, and I can use the to give me a buff for 5 minutes with a 20-minute cooldown. And there's different ones for different purposes, which are really nice addition. So let's take a look at the building system quickly. So there's just a random house here, which is good for materials. And you have a hammer that you use for construction. You right click and there's options like you can make a fireplace and all the other things. But to actually make like a proper house, you need a crafting table, which is always needed. You can see the white outline over there, which indicates the radius of the table. We'll just plop that there, and we're gonna use my hammer to quickly basically deconstruct this house for materials. So as you can see, it's made from different pieces. You could repair this, and it's actually pretty valid strategy early game, especially. Just grab one of the existing small houses. There's a multitude of different kind of buildings all around the world that you can use. For material, you can loot them. It's really fun to explore. Like this one actually has a chest here, currently empty. I think someone already took it. But like starting out, making a quick hut or just grabbing one of these quick huts. There's even beds in this one. It seems. So yeah, these are totally valid way to start the game. All right, so we have a lot of options in here. Some of them are already unlocked because we've progressed further. But just like a simple wooden house. So it is advisable to not terraform too much. As I said, it causes lag. A little bit here and there is fine. But if you're having like a big housing center, it's probably a good idea not to do it too much. So I like building things on stilts. So we'll just start by building a small wooden thing in there, and then we can rotate the pieces with a mouse wheel. And this is basically the end game of this game, building lots and lots of fancy stuff, and it's fairly quick to make pretty decent buildings. And even some of the people who play with me, who say usually they are not very creative with their building stuff, they made pretty amazing things very nicely. So it's a very nice, approachable tool for constructing things, and some people have created Millennium Falcons and all kinds of fancy stuff with this building system. There are some amazing pictures all over the internet, people's constructions. This building system has like structural integrity, which is actually kind of welcome addition to compare to like many of our building sandboxy building games, say Minecraft for example, where basically blocks float. This one you actually do need to support things. So if you look at this, you can see that the blue one here is touching ground, so it's a basically solid foundation, and then it's green. And if I carry on building this further and further, you can see it turns from green to orange to red, and I think this piece, unless it touches the ground, no, it actually broke off. So we can't actually put this in here as it's breaking off like this. So you actually need foundations, which I actually like really. When a building game encourages or basically enforces you to build stuff, it's an indication of a good building game. And it's very quickly just to make like a house. I'm gonna move this table because it's a little bit in the way, so the building does not get destroyed even if you move the crafting table. The buildings can be destroyed by other players and creatures, so there is damage, and some of the enemies can do massive damage to your buildings, so especially on the harder biomes. In the meadows you're mostly okay, but you do get attacked in your base by enemies. So you may have to build like walls and stuff to defend your base from all the attacks. And people have built moats, and people have built their bases on top of big rocks and all kinds of inventive ways to the ocean and so on. But yeah, this is basically the building system. You can see it's just clip-on things that you can rotate. the way you want, and it works really well and quickly. And you can make some really fancy houses. Just chop a forest down, build a thing. So let's go back to the town of ours, and I'm gonna show you some more features. So we're gonna go sailing a little bit, if you actually have a boat still in there. We did have one on the docks. I don't know if I can actually wiggle that out, but there should be a second boat right at the other docks we have. There's also a food system in the game, so you may have noticed this down here. And there's 3 slots for food, so you eat 3 different foods. So I'm eating soup and sausages currently. Don't seem to have a third one in my inventory at the moment. And the type of food and how many you've eaten actually affects your health bar. So how much health you have. Take a health potion as well. And also your stamina bar. So eating good food gives you a lot of stamina and health, and it's a really good idea to make some better food. They're also going to be doing some updates to the game, as this is in early access. They have a kind of roadmap going for the game. And one of the first things they're going to be adding to the game, hopefully soonish I think, is going to be Heart and Home, which focuses on building and basically better cooking systems and so on. Also, now that we're back in the home here, you can see that this is our crafting area here. So there's basically our crafting section here, so you can use a forge to craft all kinds of things, all your weapons and tools and everything on this forge. And there's another one on this side. That's the same crafting table, or the workbench I used for building, but it's also used for making tools and arrows and so on. The non-metal stuff, basically. So let's see, do we have a boat over here? No, looks like my boat is gone. So I'm gonna try stealing the... Actually, we should probably build a new boat, so you guys can see. Let's make a simple raft for starters, right? So we need 20 wood, some leather scraps, and resin. So we should probably have those materials here. We have quite a lot of junk lying around. There's some resin. I'm gonna drop some of this stone. There's some leather. And we should have the rest, I imagine, somewhere in here. I can always make a hole in the wall or grab some wood somewhere else. Good storage system is pretty important in this game, because you do get a lot of stuff looted. I mean, we may have looted a little too much of some of the stuff, to be honest. So I need 20 pieces of wood. I see a tree. We'll just take out this tree here. And hopefully not collapse it onto my house. I wonder where we parked our boat. So I'm pretty sure we had a boat. A second boat. Actually a third boat somewhere as well. But we may have left it somewhere. We pretty much have been completed all the content currently in the game. And we're kind of waiting more content personally. So we should be fine. So this is our storage house. Let's go through here. There may have been materials there. So we'll build a raft, and we'll just drop it in there, I guess. And there's our raft. And there's 3 different types of boats currently. The better ones have storage. This one is meant for mostly going over small bits of land, I mean water, to reach the other side. You don't do much big sailing with this, but the bigger boats are actually really fun to sail. There's a wind, as you can see on the top on the map here. Top right corner, there's an arrow indicating the wind direction. So I'm gonna use the rudder, and then we can set sail on our small boat. There's waves, there's weather, there's storms, and there's scary things in the oceans that may be bad for your life. And you need to actually sail with the wind, and you have to use your sails and everything properly. But then you can also paddle a little bit, so if you get stuck on an area with no wind or anything, you can still go around. And sailing is actually surprisingly fun, especially with the bigger boats, when they get up some speed, get up some storage, multiple people in the boat, someone captaining the boat, and other people doing what they do on the boats. Sadly, there's no like helping with the ores or anything currently, but hopefully we'll see some of that features in the further in the development. This game also has a pretty vibrant modding community already, so it's been not out for too long yet, like a month and a half or so from making this video. Yeah, February 2nd was the game when the game came out, and there's a lot of mods for the game already, like lots of different mods, lots of quality of life, lots of well, all the types of mods you would want basically, from cheats to quality of life to just adding some new features and some new things. And it's pretty fantastic. So let's try to sail a little. I'm trying to go here, but let's try to go a little bit over there, so you can see a different biome as well. So the first biome of the game is basically the meadows. It's mostly like open plains, so with like little birch forests, and there's berry bushes and easy enemies and stuff like that there. The second biome of the game is called the Black Forest, which basically surrounds most of the meadows area, and it's this more like fir trees and bigger. Well, basically it's a forest, and it actually looks like a forest. Coming from Nordic countries myself, from Finland, going to the forest feels like going home pretty much. I come from an area where, well, majority of the Finland is just forest anyway, so and I come from the middle of the forest, from the north myself, so it feels like home trekking in this foresty areas. And you can see it's getting into a nighttime currently. There's a little fog, and this weather effects combined with the day effects and the nature just looks amazing. We're probably gonna see some new enemies going into here as well. Some of them are pretty strong. This is also where you go to get your first next materials after the meadows and so on. And it's just super fun to explore the land. There's all kinds of points of interest. There's like old buildings in here, in all biomes, and not just in the Black Forest. There's some like small dungeon-like things that you can go into, beat some enemies, and so on. Find loot, and some of them are of course required for the progression. The progression system of the game is really cool, as it's gated behind the bosses, but it's also gated behind the materials. And you really feel as you get new items that you have progressed, and you feel. Why are you here? Question. He's not supposed to be here. He's in the wrong biome. Let's just run away. But yeah, this is basically Valheim, and it's extremely fun, both in single player and multiplayer, to just run around as a Viking doing things. The combat system is great, the bosses are great, the crafting is awesome. Building is pretty much the start and end game of this game, and it's really fun to build stuff with the building system in the game. Sailing is great, and it's just all around. If you like kind of survival, building, gathering, exploration type of games with the combat systems and everything, this game is pretty much one of the top-notch ones out there right now. Even though it just came into early access, like these Swedes who made the game have been doing some really good job with the game, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they get adding to the game. But even if you, this was just the game, like no additional additions of anything, this would be already a really awesome game. You have the 5 bosses you have to progress to. You have all the progression through the tiers of gear, exploration. You can easily spend 100 hours doing this. So basically, this is a complete game already as is, and it's only gonna get better from here on out. So it's easy to recommend, even in a just released early access state. It does have a few of the problems, like the lag with the too much terraforming and construction, and some other ones. Oh hi, and we have a troll apparently as well behind us. So I can highly recommend this. If you like this review, check out the other reviews also on the YouTube channel while I kill this troll. They're really scary early on, but of course not anymore. They're really fun to hunt. But yeah, check out the other videos and everything on the YouTube channel. There's gonna be more reviews. I'll be trying to do a lot more of them as I've been not doing them too much lately, but we'll be adding a lot and lot more in the future now. Also, check out my live stream. So I stream on twitch.tv/Pelanar every day, practically. And lots of building management strategy games, as with the creator group and the YouTube channel. It's same kind of stuff all around for me. That's kind of my jam. I like that kind of games a lot. This kind of games a lot. Very great fun. When you can do a little bit of exploration and be creative and all that, it's fun times. Also, if you would like to support me, you can check out my Patreon, which is both below the video and also on screen at the end of the video. You can check it out. Even a little bit helps a ton, keeps me going, gets me some coffee, allows me to keep producing both YouTube content and Twitch content and everything. So every little bit helps, and thank you for everyone who's been helping me out already there and on other services. But anyways, thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you guys next time with some more reviews and content.